Hey guys, it's Michael Dragon here, and I'm here to talk about Derpy Hose. That's right, that famous cross-eyed background character that was deemed popular by many fans. Though Derpy has not been feeling well lately, as you see, Derpy has made her first speaking role in the last Roundup episode. Many bros were so happy that Derpy was made into an official character with a voice, but some people, especially some ignorant parents, thought that Derpy was offensive to people with disabilities and whatnot, and they told Hasbro and the people at Studio to censor Derpy or something. And eventually, the last Roundup episode was removed from iTunes until further notice. The bronies heard about this and didn't want Derpy to get censored, so they tried many things to save Derpy from making petitions and making rants about this. And later on, it looks like they may have won. Unfortunately, they were wrong. When the last Roundup episode came back to iTunes, the Derpy scene was changed, and many bronies were saddened and angered by this. They tried to save Derpy, but it looks like it didn't work out. So what happened to Derpy scene in the last Roundup episode? Well, it's still there, but they made some changes in order to make Derpy look less offensive. And to be honest, it's not a whole lot, really. I mean, let me tell you what changes they made to that scene. Number 1, Derpy's voice. Now let me tell you my thoughts on both versions of Derpy's voice. For the old version, while it was cool to hear Derpy talk, I thought she sounded like a dopey, clumsy boy. Yes, I thought her voice sounded like a boy, especially for the fact that the person who voiced Derpy thought that Derpy was male. Now, in the new version, her voice sounded more feminine and sounded more like a girl. Sure, she doesn't sound as clumsy as the old voice, but I actually like the new voice better, mostly because she sounded more like a girl, and for the old version, I thought the person who voiced her tried a bit too hard, and she thought Derpy was a boy, so really, they did fix one thing. And also, I don't like how people are calling Derpy's new voice bad and unfitting, and some say she sounds like a dumb blondie now. So, that's still a sign that Derpy still got a clumsy tone in her voice. In fact, I think she still does. And also, let's say that Derpy's new voice was in the original version, and that was her voice. How would you react? I bet most of you will be like, that's her voice? Okay, cool. Seriously, Derpy's new voice isn't bad. In fact, I think it sounds better than her old one. Number 2, her name. In the old version, Rainbow Dash called out Derpy's name, and it was official that her name was Derpy. What about her other name Dixie-Doo? I'm not sure. And many bronies were happy and excited to hear that. However, in the new version, Rainbow Dash doesn't mention her name at all. And they did this just to make the character look less offensive. And many bronies were saddened to hear that Derpy's name was not mentioned at all. Though that doesn't mean that she's not Derpy anymore. No, Derpy is still officially called Derpy. But it's just that in the new version of that scene, they just don't mention her name. That's all. Number 3, her derped eyes. Remember how Derpy is usually cross-eyed? Well, now for the new version of that scene, they had to change the look on Derpy's eyes to make her look less offensive. While it may look like her eyes have been upderped, if you look closely, her eyes are still kinda derped, but not a whole lot. So overall, they didn't underp her eyes, they just had to tone it down, that's all. So that's all the changes they did to Derpy in that scene. And to be honest, it's not a whole lot, really. I mean, all they did really was they changed her voice to sound more feminine and less retarded, no offense, not have her name mentioned at all, and tone down her derped eyes. And plus, I heard they only planned to do this to the iTunes version and not the Hub TV version, and not even on the Friendship Express DVD version. What I'm basically trying to say is that Derpy is going to be fine. She isn't going to get completely censored. She's not dead. She's not being replaced. She's not going to have her background appearances removed from other episodes. She is still Derpy, and she is going to be fine. Look, I know how you guys feel about Derpy. I know it's bullshit how she gets complaints from people thinking she's offensive, yet they don't mind the other idiot characters like Ed and Patrick from other cartoons. But the changes they made to just that one scene isn't that big of a deal. Don't you think you guys are taking this a bit too seriously? Well, that's all I'm going to say about this. This is Michael Dragon 800 here saying Happy Derpy Day, and Derpy, please stop crying. You're going to be fine. Trust me.